Professional wrestlers have been using masks as far as back in 1915 and they are still widely used today. Especially in lucha libre in Mexico. The mask is considered most important accessory in lucha libre because the mask makes them a warrior. The mask is considered to be a sacred thing in Mexico. Most Mexican wrestlers enjoy a higher degree of anonymity about their personal lives. Over the years, WWE has been a home to several of most iconic masked wrestlers, with the legendary Rey Mysterio standing on the top of most recognizable. So how's it going? It is Wrestler Artist here, and today we are going to be looking at masked wrestlers who were accidentally unmasked. So let's dive into it. First up, Kalisto. Kalisto was the part of WWE for several years, and in that time he has been the United States and the Cruiserweight Champion. He had also been in some high-profile feuds. In a match in 2015, Kalisto was fighting Albert Del Rio in a World Heavyweight Championship tournament. Del Rio accidentally pulled Kalisto's mask off in the middle of the spot on the top rope. It's unclear what Del Rio was aiming from here, but he pulled the mask completely off of Kalisto's face so that he could see and beneath it. Needless to say, Kalisto taught him a lesson by going on to win the match and advance further in the tournament. Next up we got Lince Dorado. In 2007, Lince Dorado debuted in professional wrestling and joined WWE in 2016. Unmasked in a match against Mitch Ryder. Dorado won the match. He messed up with a moonsault and gave himself a conclusion which led him to suffer a seizure after the match. Next up, Kalisto again. Rick Alexander pinned Kalisto with a lumberjack. Fans in the building were talking about the spot with Kalisto's mask. A few minutes into the match, the mask came off. It was something that wasn't planned. The match was stopped briefly so that referee could go over and get the mask for him. Kalisto moved towards the ringside area and proceeded to put the mask back on. Alexander got some boost for that since there are a lot of Kalisto fans in Southern California, but it was clearly an accident. Next up, Gran Metalik. Gran Metalik has kept his identity a secret for a number of years, to the point where many WWE fans aren't aware of his real name. The star had been seen a part of Lucha House Party over the years. The masked wrestler hasn't been a part of a storyline where he loses his mask on the WWE Live TV in the past. He was the star who fell foul to a botch during a match against Neville back in 2017. Neville was pulling on Metalik's mask. Despite being unmasked on live TV earlier in his career, Mysterio had continued to wrestle under a mask and become one of the most famous masked wrestlers in WWE history. That being said, Mysterio has also fallen foul on his own fair share of botches throughout his WWE career. The most obvious one coming back in Money in the Bank 2011 when Mysterio was accidentally unmasked by Albert Del Rio as the star went on to win the Money in the Bank briefcase. Del Rio unmasked Mysterio and threw him into another ladder before the entire finish to the match was turned into a bit of mess. When Del Rio then fell into his ladder, Mysterio was forced to stay down since the mask has been removed and Del Rio went to climb the ladder and win the contract. And before we move on to next, I want to say that please press the subscribe button. It really motivates me to make videos like this. And on to the next one. Next, Kalisto with Albert Del Rio again. During a match against Albert Del Rio, a turnbuckle spot when Del Rio grabbed his opponent's head inadvertently, almost pulled the mask clean off. In the pattern that we will see repeat in other accidents, unmasking, Del Rio realized that what he had done and quickly assisted his opponent with replacing the mask properly while trying not to further expose Kalisto's face. Up next, Lince Dorado again. Lince Dorado and Drew Gulak faced each other in 205 Live in 2018. It was a six-man tag team match. The trio of Kalisto, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado took on Drew Gulak, Brian Kendrick, and Jax Gregor in an otherwise fun match, but it wasn't remembered for a fun moment. It was remembered for the moment when Gulak grabbed Lince Dorado's head and accidentally unmasked him. In the process, thankfully, everything went on smoothly with Dorado recovering quickly. This is kinda strangest among them, because it did not happen because of another wrestler in the ring, it happened because wrestler himself. So I'm talking about Cara. The original Cara, aka Mystico, now goes with the name of Kalisto in Mexico. A couple of years ago, he was in Instagram live stream and he ended the stream, so he thought, and he unmasked himself, revealing his face before he realized that his stream was still live. due to a fan captured a screenshot because they don't respect the rules of Lucha Libre and revealed Mystico's being unmasked, which meant that it was a bit too late. And up next, Kane. Kane has wrestled under a mask for much of his career but opted to unmask a number of occasions as well. The Big Machine went through a legacy portion of his career without a mask before deciding to put it back on again and become the once feared star. When Kane returned to WWE to help his brother The Undertaker back in 2018, Kane decided to return with the mask, which may have been a vital mistake. Kane and The Undertaker teamed up to take Shawn Michaels and Triple H's crown jewel at Saudi Arabia, and it was a match that all four men would rather forget. The match was riddled with botches, but perhaps the most amusing came when Kane was on the top rope and a punch to the side of his head from Michaels forced his mask to fall off and hit the floor. Triple H later recalled that he thought that Kane has been fallen out. So this was the wrestlers who were accidentally unmasked. To press the subscribe button if you like the video.